Okay, what are the ingredients for today's meal? A tablespoon of frustrated Andrade, of course. 2 scoops of Sammy Guevara fighting with his coworkers. 8 ounces of Twitter beef. Oh my God, are we having AEW Backstage drama for dinner again?
Pro Wrestling Bits. Subscribe now.
Leave it to AEW to not leave well enough alone when it comes to their talent fighting each other. This time, the beef is between repeat offenders Sammy Guevara and Andrade Idolo. Fresh off of rumors of wanting out of AEW, Andrade messed around and managed to get himself booked in a match where he gets to leave AEW if he loses. You can do it, Andrade. Just get counted out or disqualified or leave to the crowd or go do a Will Smith to a referee, but you can do it. This is your moment. If you're really about that hashtag FreeElIdolo life, now's your chance to prove it. I don't want to hear you whining about your contract if you play by the rules and win this match. At least Tony Khan thought to put this match on a taped Rampage in case there's any shenanigans, but still. Sammy Guevara and Andrade went back and forth on Twitter over Andrade's comments that Sammy complained Andrade hit him too hard. And AEW's backstage drama has no end in sight at this point. If Dave Meltzer wants AEW to sweep the Fake Observer Awards again this year, he's gonna have to come up with categories for most dysfunctional locker room, worst leadership, biggest heat seeker, which I thought Cousin Phil had on lock, but Sammy Guevara is starting to make a late push. Andrade called out Sammy Guevara in a Spanish language interview, so this week, when Tony Khan has his backstage talent meeting, maybe they'll ignore him in 2 languages. Sammy clapped back on Andrade on Twitter, and now Sammy is starting to develop a reputation as an up-and-coming locker room cancer, almost like a young CM Punk. Last year, Sammy Guevara ruffled feathers in Impact Wrestling, where he was sent home. He had caused a stir within AEW after some vulgar comments about Sasha Banks, which got him suspended. He was in an art-imitating life feud with Eddie Kingston that worked itself into a shoot. And now it's Andrade's turn. For better or worse, Sammy Guevara is the Shawn Michaels of AEW. Shawn was insanely talented, so is Sammy. Vince McMahon loved Shawn Michaels, to the point where some would say Shawn had the boss's ear. Tony Khan loves Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara was anointed an AEW pillar, similar to how Shawn Michaels was the face of the new generation. And Tony even danced at Sammy Guevara's wedding. In the 90s, Shawn Michaels was a pugnacious pretty boy. And from the outside looking in, so is Sammy. Sammy Guevara has been the subject of several reports about backstage drama. First, AEW fans turn on him due to the drama surrounding him and Ty Mello getting together. Then Eddie Kingston and now Andrade are following suit due to his antics backstage and on Twitter. I'm not taking sides just yet, but there's an old saying that we love on this channel. If everybody around you is an asshole, you're the asshole. Guevara recently complained about all the wrestling drama being so exhausting, which is like Tekashi 6ix9ine complaining about all the snitches in hip-hop. Once upon a time, AEW was in a wrestling war against WWE. But with ticket sales lower than Jeffrey Dahmer's Grindr matches and tensions higher than Tony Khan hanging out with Big Swole, AEW has decided to turn this into a civil war. About a month ago, I got on this app and I told you that Tony Khan is not a leader. I was wrong. Tony Khan is a leader. In fact, he leads by example, as Tony Twitter fingers. Tony Khan puts all his business out there on the Bird app. He calls people out, shouts to Nick Khan, he cyberbullies. Oh, I'm sorry. The politically correct term is ratio. Tony Khan is one of those ratio guys who's so creative he needs help cyberbullying from his trolls. Tony can't always control his trolls though. Just last week, Tony Twitterfingers sent out a company email and CC'd all of Twitter. Then he got surprised and defensive when he started hearing back from the crazy people on the Bird app. My guy, if you're gonna have a staff meeting on Skid Row, don't get mad when it's interrupted by a rabid homeless person. Tony Khan is leading by example through his messy tweets and lack of composure online, and now his town is like, well, if my boss is gonna lash out like an ethnic Donald Trump, then I can get these bars off too. Shit, FTR went to another country, got on the mic and called out Tony Khan. F it. Because we're in the everybody can get it era of AEW, where the whole locker room is acting like Tony Twitterfingers. Leadership. Andrade and Sammy going back and forth in a climate where the locker room is supposed to be focused on improving is yet another telltale sign that AEW stars just don't respect Tony Khan like that. In fact, that lack of respect for Tony Khan is what makes this mask versus career match with Andrade so interesting. Because on one hand, surely Andrade wouldn't do anything unprofessional on national television, like do a double cross on the finish. Surely Andrade wouldn't do a reverse Montreal screwjob where he loses a match in a shoot and forces AEW's hand. By the way, reverse Montreal screwjob sounds like a Canadian sex position. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, on one hand, you don't think Andrade would ever be unprofessional by losing a mask versus career match as a shoot. But on the other hand, the inmates are running the asylum in this bitch, so nothing would surprise me. We just saw CM Punk shooting on live TV and then at a fake media scrum with his boss sitting right there. It's open season on AEW contracts, and Tony Khan only has himself to blame. By booking Andrade in a loser leaves town situation, Tony Khan is once again leaning into the dirt sheet rumors. This is the same strategy that got 4 of his top stars suspended while ticket sales continue to dry up like an armadillo's hoo-ha. Seriously, there were more tickets sold at a Virgil meet and greet. Andrade's frustrations in AEW is a Twitter storyline that requires the most hardcore of fan to read between the lines of Andrade's cryptic tweet. Now that's going to be a television storyline? That backstage drama will fill up a Twitter comment section, but not an arena. AEW is starting to learn the hard way that you can't sell tickets with a Twitter beef. I'm going to move forward as if this Sammy and Andrade beef is a shoot. It better be. Not only has AEW been burned by reality-based storylines, but Sammy Guevara is one of its biggest offenders. He shouldn't be anywhere near an angle that could work itself into a shoot. At this point, doing another angle based on backstage tensions would put AEW on par with WCW for all the wrong reasons. But who knows, maybe they'll be able to sell a few more tickets in a subreddit somewhere. Will Andrade and Sammy shoot on each other? Can Tony Khan solve this with another backstage talent meeting? Or is it an on-site dynamite? Tell me in the comments!